What's up, YouTube? Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I am recording these back to back, so peace if you watched all the videos. But yeah, in this video, I just want to talk about my favorite SSD that I'm currently using. And this is the Sandisk 4TB professional SSD. Without a doubt, this has been the best SSD that I've ever used. To the point where I actually bought two of these. That's why I wanted to go ahead and make this video. I've been using these for the last several months. And if you're looking for an SSD with consistent read and write speeds, look no further. This is the one to get. So this SSD has consistent read and write speeds of well over 1,000 megabits every single time I use it. It hits around 2,000 consistently. I will say this can actually go up to 3,000 if you got the right computer. So if you have Thunderbolt 3, you'll get anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000 megabits per second. Most computers don't have that, so most of us are just going to get around 1,000. So essentially getting an SSD like this, you're basically future-proofing your SSD setup. Now with this particular SSD, it's worked better than any SSD I've ever had. I've used a ton of different SSDs, and I just really want to get on here and kind of make a video just to let you all know what I had been using for storage. Like I say, with this speed is what I got out of this. I mean, when transferring some of these big files, especially when you're working with like Ursa Cine 12K footage, it can definitely drag. So you definitely want to get a super fast SSD. I love this SSD. Like I say, this is the best one I've ever used, to the point where I have two. I will say, from a price perspective, these are definitely going to be more on the pricey end. I paid $350 per SSD. Of course, that's not including tax, but that's just how much an SSD like this costs. Like I say, with this SSD, you're essentially getting something that's going to work with Thunderbolt 3, but also, you know, the most updated USB port. So you're basically kind of getting a dual SSD. With that being said, like I said, most computers don't have Thunderbolt 3. So some people may be like, well, why do I want to pay that? And trust me, you don't have to, but you can. And I also love the design of these as well, just because, I mean, it's rubbery, they're small, they're lightweight, they work really great. Another cool thing about an SSD like this, you can actually use it on cameras that let you record the SSD. So like on the Pixels, you can literally just plug this in if you want to, and it works like a champ. Like I said, I didn't want to make this video. I didn't want this video to be too long. I just specifically wanted to talk about the SSD I've been using. If you've been thinking about getting this SSD, it's great. As far as other SSDs on the market, the only other one I know that's as fast as this, or kind of in the same realm, is going to be the Space Shuttle SSD, but I haven't actually had the chance to use that SSD. But from what I've saw and all the tests I've saw, is fast as well. So I will say, if you want a super fast SSD, this is about as good as it gets right now, with the exception of the other SSD. So you definitely have an option. But aside from that, what SSD are you using? How do you store your footage? I know if you're like me, then you have a lot of hard drives and a lot of space. But in terms of when I'm editing, when I'm working, I prefer to work off a SSD, and I have two of these. So it's definitely what I like to use. I'll be curious to know what you like to use. And if you have any questions about this SSD, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Peace.